So today the market is very, very green, and I want to dedicate today's episode talking about Hood. I have made a lot of videos talking just about SoFi. Once again, this YouTube channel is not supposed to be SoFi dominant base, although my well, man, probably on both my profiles, SoFi is gradually going to grow to the biggest position. But I am a raging SoFi bull, and I'm also a raging Robinhood bull as well too. And I don't actually believe that I have a video. Actually, no, I do. I just don't have as many as I do for SoFi. So, I will be talking about SoFi a little bit in this video. Although yesterday was fully dedicated to SoFi and basically another video talking about the short report that came out. If you enjoy my content, definitely smash the like button, entirely free, and subscribe for future videos. I try to put out episodes every Monday through Saturday here on this channel. I'm a stock loving guru, and the market is very green. So I want to go ahead and cover this piece by Hood relatively quick, and then get into why the market is potentially very much green here, and then go back to Robinhood, and then talk a little bit about SoFi too. Gonna try to keep this video below 17 minutes here. So here we go. Robinhood stock jumped 7%. Here's what driving the surge today. Basically, Robinhood has offered a stock rebuy program, right? I mean, a lot of times stocks will do this when they know they might be going through a potential hurdle, which the stock is definitely going through a hurdle right now. Not to mention I've been buying Robinhood on both of my profiles, my private profile and also my public channel profile here on this YouTube channel. And I've been buying the dip because this is a great, profitable, phenomenal company. The issue with Robinhood stock is that the stock itself and also the company itself revolves around a risk on market. Okay? SoFi, yeah, I know I said I wouldn't talk about SoFi a little bit early in this video, but I got to. SoFi's stock revolves around a risk on market, but the company, they don't need to be in a risk on market to thrive. You don't believe me? Do your due diligence, do your time like I have, and look up SoFi for the last, how many quarters have we triple beat now? I honestly don't know off the top of my head, but I believe it's either right below 10 or above 10. It's a while. So the stock for SoFi, the company, with their earnings growth, is up into the right, okay? Every quarter. Bum ba da bum ba da bum 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 ba da bum 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 bum. Robinhood has had explosive quarters. So Robinhood could be like going up to the right, then boom, and then down a little, boom, down a little, boom. What would cause that surge? Pretty much cryptocurrency and in a raging bull market. I'm an American bull. I really feel that we are in an overall stock market bull, secular bull market. It's pretty much in different cycles, okay? The first secular bull market, and what a secular bull market is that if you zoom out, you basically see a gigantic overall trend to the upside, okay? They tend to be roughly 25 to 27 years. The first secular bull market started after the Great Depression. It ended during the Great Inflation during the 70s, and then it started after the Great Inflation, roughly around early 80s, and then it went all the way to 2007, the Great Financial Crisis. You could have recessions in a secular bull market, okay? 2022 was a recession. We were in 2 quarters of negative GDP. It was short, okay? The dot-com bubble, the 9/11 burst, okay? And then we rallied all throughout. Obviously, I wasn't in the market in 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006. It was a raging bull market. And then the Great Financial Crisis ended the secular bull market. So we're in the third secular bull market right now. If you want my opinion, we're probably going to have an epic crash of a lifetime when Social Security is about to go bankrupt and the millennial generation is going to be facing retirement. My generation, which is going to be around 2035. Different topic, different video, but you got to know your history. So Hood is going to experience very volatile earnings when the stock market is risk on, and this is where a lot of growth investors like myself, we look at companies like this and we're like, okay, well, the company is not risk on, the market's not risk on, I'm going to be buying shares. So doing a buyback program when your stock price is very much in a hurdle, they do have a lot of cash, which is good. They're not going to go friggin' bankrupt anytime soon. Many other companies have also done a stock buyback program. PayPal, a stock that I sold here several weeks ago, Honest Company, they just initiated a buyback program, which I was actually down in my position, and then my position went green, and then I cashed out of that, moved my proceeds to a different area. Believe that I bought a lot of Adobe and also some Hood too. So this is very bullish for the sentiment, and it could keep the stock away from the $60 level range, and it also might actually keep the stock out of the $50 range. Because here's the reality of Robinhood, and I've talked about this a lot. Also, the stock is nearly down 35% year to date. Hold on, let me finish reading some facts from here relatively quickly, just to make sure that I cover this. Yes, pretty much about it. I also have a screenshot here as well too. Hold on one second. I thought I had a screenshot here. We keep things very real on this YouTube channel, by the way. Here we go. Robinhood lifts buyback program to 1.5 bill. Very bullish. 1.5 bill. Yep. 2 hours ago, 7 minutes ago, 17 hours ago. Okay, so basically, pretty much, it's a way for Hood to show to their investors, saying, "Hey, look, we know that you are in a water cheers, by the way. We know that you are in a hurdle, especially if you were buying at the highs. The company itself has your back, essentially. So, if you've been following this YouTube channel and following me over the last I can't believe it's about 6 months now, been posting a lot of videos on here, and I started nibbling on in to Hood. I think I actually got some shares at like $140. Very little amount of shares. And then I went very big around $100 range because there was a lot of support in this area back in August of last year, around $100. So I'm like, okay, let me definitely go in. And then we started moving higher. Ironically, I was actually like up on my Hood position by 20%. And, well, I'm not God. I don't know the future. I didn't realize that this was going to end up happening. But I've been buying this entire way down here. I've been buying, okay? And this is where, when your stock that you are invested in, or maybe even taking a long-term trade, i.e. maybe 6, 12 months, has really fallen down, you got to be buying all the way down, and you also got to be buying all the way up. Okay, mathematically speaking, you will make money. Sure, I got some shares that are $140. Okay, obviously I'm down on those, but the amount of shares that I've been buying at these levels down here, going from 107 all the way down to low 70s, and I just bought some shares the other day when it was below 60, when it was in the high 60s. It makes me feel okay that, sure, I got shares in the 140s. Now, as for my long-term outlook on Robinhood, when crypto goes back to all-time highs, you're going to have this company exploding, let alone companies like Coinbase as well, too. They're going to be very much shooting past all-time highs. Okay, a company like Hood and even SoFi is very much in crypto now. They're going to very much be in a very bullish cycle for their stock price. So can we see Hood at $200? It might be crazy to really say something like that. Yeah, Robinhood is definitely going to be at a $200 price of a stock in the future. When is that going to be? I can't pinpoint it. Like, no one really can. But there will be a day where Robinhood is going to be at 200 bucks. Now, to be a very bearish outlook, someone may say, well, in the next 10 years, that is really just trying to think of a PG word to really say other than actually it's dog shit. The next 10 years, you could very well see Robinhood as a company in the multi-trillion dollar range. Yeah. Okay, because Bitcoin in the next 10 years, it's only going cryptocurrency, as much as the bears on crypto like to really say, well, crypto is not really backed by anything. Well, who is saying that crypto is not backed by anything? The boomer generation. Okay, I don't really mean to be like sounding like an a-hole here. I'm a 37-year-old, but the baby boomer generation, they're not going to be around much longer. The millennials are obviously going to very much be running things. Gen X is going to be half and half. Then you have Gen Z, which is going to be, Gen Z is very much into all of this, very much into crypto. Then you're going to have Gen Alpha, which is even going to be more into crypto. So, like, just think about the future, okay? In the next 10 years, crypto is going to be very big, and fintechs, essentially, kind of like Robinhood, is going to be even bigger, along with SoFi. I do see PayPal somewhat making a recovery in the sense of maybe they get bought and their stock price definitely does. But I mean, PayPal itself has other issues. As for Robinhood here, the clear-cut dry thing is that, sure, the stock price is not going to surpass all-time highs. So my 140 shares are going to be on a DCA essentially to make money. But at the same time, there will be a day when Robinhood is going to be 200 bucks. If I have to really pinpoint it, it's probably going to be maybe like a year, maybe next like 2 years, give or take. And it all really depends on how quick this crypto cycle is going to be over. But for me, basically now as a long-term investor of Robinhood, because after really diving into more stuff about their company, especially there's this last earnings call, the more and more earnings calls that I actually listen to their CEO, that sounds a lot like Mark Zuckerberg. He sounds a lot like an innovator, which is a really good thing in my opinion. So that's really Hood per se. What am I really doing to really look at like Hood on my own like profile and stuff? I'm just nibbling on shares. That's pretty much about it. Thought I had the screenshot here. Apparently I did not. Hold on one second. Take screenshot. Apparently my computer doesn't want to take a freaking screenshot right now. But I did actually buy a Hood. Did pick up some shares at $69.29 before we actually soared above 70 bucks again. Anything in the high 60s, I personally am going to be a buyer of Hood. We go down to the low 60s, I'm going to be buying more. It really is all about their earnings and upcoming earnings to really see how much this cryptocurrency down cycle is going to affect their EPS. But now that they're doing, a more of a share buyback, maybe their EPS is not going to be affected too much. In my opinion, probably will. And especially their revenue. Right now, my Hood position, my total cost basis is $5,700 on my YouTube channel profile here. This profile is dedicated to this YouTube channel, doing a channel profile challenge, and total cost basis, obviously $5,700. I've stated this many times before. I would feel comfortable bringing this to well over 7,000. But the point for me to really go very much heavier is going to be after this earnings. Because after this earnings, I'm going to have, along with many other investors too, a real better like guesstimation for the future of, hey, is this going to be like a 1 year cycle of Robinhood being in like theoretically the 60 $70 price range, maybe even 50s, or is this going to be like a recovery, and the second half of this year maybe their stock price is going to be showing, like a lot of life here and stuff, right? So that's primarily what I'm really doing for like buying and nibbling on shares. Obviously, their evaluation is not very much more rich like it was at 150. The last thing that I'll pretty much go ahead and say for the market right now is we're very much seeing green. The VIX is obviously down. Oil is very much staying below 90. A lot of stuff is ramping up though in the Middle East, so we're seeing a lot of very much backwardness in the market, because Saudi Arabia, UAE may actually be getting involved in the war right now. So things might actually not really be de-escalating. They may be like going in the opposite. But understand that when it comes to like the stock market, you can have a bottom long before this stuff is over. And that's because the stock market is forward thinking. So we very well could have hit the bottom maybe this past Friday. I'm not saying that Friday was a bottom. Just understand that when it comes to things in the market, you can have stuff still being happening, but the market itself could be very much bottoming, because maybe the market's going to say, okay, this is probably going to go on for a couple months, but now we're looking in the market for the rest of the year. Yeah, we don't see this lasting for the rest of the year. Okay, let's go. Let's go on a upward trend. The market is forward thinking. What do I do in a situation like this? I buy the dip. I buy the fear. I buy all the way down and I buy all the way up. The market itself, the major indexes, we very well could see something like this. Maybe have like a mini Liberation Day, 2.0 here. Obviously, back in May of last year, there was still plenty of tariff talks going on, but the market was very much forward thinking and the V shape was already very much recovered. Or yesterday was very much red-ish. Yesterday was theoretically kind of like a bear trap in a way. So we could very well be having kind of a false breakout in the market once again, and maybe tomorrow and Friday we kind of very much just sell off and stuff. Anything is possible, but stick to your goals, stick to your plan. As for Robinhood, I'm a very happy buyer of this stock, and I'm going to be continuing to buying of Robinhood, especially in these levels. So take that with a grain of salt. If you enjoyed today's episode, definitely smash the like button, and I'll be uploading a new one tomorrow as well too. The last closing note that I'll pretty much say is that the sentiment around SoFi is definitely very in defense mode, because the thing about SoFi in the short report that came out with Poopy Waters, aka Muddy Waters here, you basically had yesterday, I don't really believe it's on here, but yesterday one of the analysts of SoFi actually came out and defended their $38 price target on SoFi. A very bullish analyst actually put a $38 price target on SoFi. Probably going to be talking about that tomorrow, so stay tuned for that video. But a lot of people are defending SoFi, and it really feels that Muddy Waters issuing a short report on SoFi, well, they kind of messed with the wrong bull, huh? All right, see you all later. Bye.